work 55 to 60 hours every single week and not get burnt out, especially if you're single and don't have any kids? The unnuanced answer is yes, but the more useful, nuanced, and more accurate answer is potentially, but probably not for everyone. My name is Brittany. I've been helping burnt out overachievers for over a decade, and I also have been living and working in Silicon Valley since 2010. So I see a lot of people in my private coaching practice working 55 to 60 hours, everything up from over 80. But I'm also friends with and have personally experienced working kind of extra hours like this and being happy and thriving. So what are some of the things that make the difference, and what are some of the signs that maybe you actually are in burnout? Because to answer the other piece of the person's question, it's not only an emotional factor. If you get a ton of fulfillment out of your job, it's a fun puzzle, you feel like you're competent at it, but still able to grow, it's engaging, you feel like there is a purpose to your work, you are appreciated and recognized, there are people there that you actually enjoy and admire, and you're able to switch off your brain when you are not working outside of working hours, you're not ruminating about it, you're not getting the Sunday scaries, so to speak, you're taking your vacations when you would like to and are able to engage in the vacation as opposed to constantly thinking about work, then yeah, these 55 to 60 hours, if that is filling you up, if you're feeling like you are satisfied in life and you're not experiencing these cognitive, emotional, physical symptoms of burnout, then it's clearly working for you. I'm not the kind, there are some wellness coaches that are like, if you're working a minute over 40 hours every single week, then your well-being is going to be terrible. If you check even a single email outside of work hours, terrible. I'm not that kind of coach. If it's working for you, then let it work, but let's be honest about whether or not it's working for you. As far as whether or not burnout is just an emotional factor, I do see a lot of physical manifestations of burnout in my coaching practice, everything from jaw problems to IBS to chronic pain to the development of chronic health conditions that doctors tell folks are attributed to work-related stress, etc. And so when we think of burnout, it's not necessarily just, oh, I feel really bad. And there are also 3 different types of burnout. We generally just only hear about one of them. A lot of people will come to me for private coaching in their late 20s to mid 30s, and basically all of them have been working these really intense hours for a really long time. And for some of them, it wasn't a problem immediately, partially because they didn't have a ton of other stuff going on. They didn't have aging parents. They didn't have a desire for kids. They maybe didn't even have partners or a particularly demanding pet. Other folks realized that they were kind of fooling themselves a little bit, where they just didn't know what else that they should be doing with their time, and so they were filling it with work, and slowly over time it started taking up more and more and more and more space, and now they don't know what to do with their free time because it's been so long since they allowed themselves to enjoy it. And for people who are in a really, really toxic situation, you can get burnt out at 40 hours a week. So can you work 55, 60 hours and still have a happy, fulfilled life and not be burnt out? Yes, but it is very important to be realistic about whether or not you are actually living a life that you do enjoy, that you are able to mentally switch off outside of work and fully engage in the life that you're working so hard to be able to fund. And just recognize that the company that you're working for now will not be the same company that you started with 2 years from now. Your role is going to change, your preferences are going to change, things are going to get boring, things are going to be hard, leadership will go, and your priorities may shift. And so it would not be surprising if later on, even if you choose to remain single, choose to remain child-free, you may find that 55 to 60 hours, 5 years, 10 years from now, no longer feels like the best fit. And it's not a personal failing. It doesn't mean that there's something wrong or broken with you. But saying just because this used to work for me doesn't mean that it's going to continue to work for forever. And so just be mindful of some of those signs of burnout and be willing to shift plans when you figure out if something isn't working for you anymore. Let me know in the comments, what's your current workload and is it working for you? And if you want some more support, be sure to check out the top of my bio for more.